Who that is?
And he started.
Who that is?
He hollering.
Hell no. Who that is? Who that is?
It ain't started yet, James. You gotta wait.
Oh my
Oh, God,
freaking
y'all didn't
God.
It said check the internet connection. Oh.
That's just my baby daddy. Who that is? Who that is? Why you laughing?
Because of the topic. The song is
Who that is?
it your baby
Who
daddy?
that is? Right. Dang.
You phone to me.
Ooh, why she know the word? Hi, y'all.
Yeah.
All I know is the hook.
Hey, good afternoon. Good evening. Well, let a couple of y'all come on.
My baby daddy. My baby daddy. All right. That's enough, y'all. Come on.
I said a cheapo way.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, welcome to Real and Rare.
Oh.
I'm Nene. How y'all doing tonight?
What's up? It's
We have a
Tuesday.
special guest.
Oh, y'all know
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Kofa. I'm Kofa, Demigod Kofa on Facebook, Growth Talk Podcast on YouTube.
Say that one more time.
Kofa, Kofa, Demigod Kofa on Facebook, Growth Talk Podcast on YouTube.
Welcome.
Thank
All right,
you.
then, don't be trying to shine
Thank
on
you.
us.
I'm bringing y'all
We need
on.
to be on your podcast.
I am.
Exactly.
Y'all are like a year ahead of me. I'm like 2 weeks in.
But
But I got you. But I got you.
Next.
What's up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your girl Jazz. Happy Tuesday to everybody.
Hey, happy Tuesday. I know y'all missed his face. It's Kiki. Kiki. Always saying.
Hey, you already know it's your girl TT. How y'all doing? What's up? Today's topic is going to be who that is? My baby daddy. Who that is? My baby daddy.
Is it?
My baby daddy.
Maybe daddy.
Maybe
Maybe
not.
baby daddy. See, y'all do know what the saying is, right?
That is mama's baby's daddy's
Papa's
name.
Okay, as long as everybody know.
Yeah.
So let's do it, because this might get a little touchy for some people.
So that's why we have a male too. And
That's why
another
we got
man,
a
my friend
man.
might jump in, you know.
Welcome, Kofi. Am I saying it correct?
Kofa.
Kofa.
Right,
Okay.
yep.
Kofa. Is there a meaning for it?
It's saying Kofa. Everybody just call me Kofa.
Nice. That's a
Same
cool
thing.
name.
Thank
You
you.
got a cool name.
Thank you.
All right, we should have had 2 hookahs. How we gonna pass the hookah all the way over here?
They fire.
Next.
Okay. Go ahead, Jazz. What you got? Because you said some stuff earlier about
All right, so
mandatory and
we were talking earlier. We kind of just came up on this topic today. First of all, did we do a sound check? Make sure everybody can hear us.
Yeah.
All right. So earlier today, the ladies and I were talking. Awesome. And some things happened over the last couple of days in my personal life that just brought this topic aboard. Not for me personally, but things around me. Let me say that, because y'all like to take it there. But we were talking about basically women accusing men of certain things. A baby, rape, things
Other
of
way
that
around.
nature. Yeah, things of that nature. And then once an investigation takes place and it turns out not to be true, nothing happens to the woman. So I was like, do y'all think it should be some type of law or something in place to where the woman, or even a male, if it happens to be a man, because it does happen in that case too, but most likely if a woman says, this is your baby, and you go 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years taking care of this child, then one day you find out that it's not yours, all she gets is a slap on the wrist, and she says, oh, I'm sorry, and that's it. You don't have to pay the money back. Nothing happens to the woman. And basically, I don't want to say the man suffered, but in some cases, men have struggled and suffered trying to provide for a child. And then just to find out years later that it's not theirs. So I felt like a DNA test should be mandatory, like government. Like it should be, before you leave the hospital, we know that this is the mama and this is the daddy of this child. Because forever, all they had to do was sign a birth certificate and they were held responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, you find
it's
out
still like that.
it's not your baby, right?
Yeah.
And the only way most people have found out is when they go to get on child support. Now it's mandatory that you take a DNS because you've requested a child support.
To take care of your child.
And now you find out,
Because so many
is
people
this my baby or
it's
not?
been a baby.
So
And
give
that
me your
depends on the
thoughts.
state.
We gonna take it there a little bit, but just y'all chime in and tell me how y'all feel. Nene, you was kind of against it a little bit, and tell why.
I said because I felt like, and I understand it, but I feel like me personally, how I move and the people that I'm with, I don't feel like they would question that I would feel some type of way because I've been in long relationships. I'm not saying people don't do anything, but I'm just saying that's how I would feel if they would have came to me and said, hey, I want to test when I be with you every day, all day, most of the time. And not saying when you walk out the door, stuff can't happen. I'm just talking about me.
Right. So you mentioned if you were in long relationships or a marriage that you didn't
Yes.
feel it should be necessary.
But the-
For me,
No, it happens.
right, it happens, but I'm just saying that's my personal, that I would have felt some way if somebody would have said it.
So
That's
can
just
I
me.
piggyback off of both of y'all?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's just start off with DNA. Cause Jazzy asked the question. The women get a slap on the wrist, nothing happens. Should they have to pay the money back? And my response earlier to that was no, because it's not like it's not any laws put in place for a man to request a DNA. Both parties have a responsibility. So if a man can go request for a DNA test without him being put on child support or whatever the case may be. So he's just as responsible as his female, because some women really do think that this man is the father of their child, and they just as shocked as a man. So it's yeah.
The only way for it
Wait,
to
let
not be,
No.
that means you have multiple partners, right?
Yeah, but
So then
okay, well let me
you know
finish.
it's a chance. You
Right,
know it's
but
a chance.
Deep down in her heart, she really felt like she ain't just putting it on this man just to say, I want this man to be my baby daddy. She really, even though she probably did have multiple partners, she really thought that this particular partner was her baby daddy. But again, men, you have the responsibility to request a DNA test. You don't have to wait for the female to do it. You can do it. So again, I say both parties are just responsible as a female. And then as far as Nene, I was explaining to her earlier, I won't feel no type of way if my son's father, whether I'm in a relationship or whether I'm married, asks me for a DNA test, because just for his sake. Because I don't want him to ever throw up in my face that this baby not his. So just so you can have a clear mind, and so you can 100% know that this is your child. Yes, I want you to get a DNA test. Me personally, you need to get a DNA test. You want it, you can get it. I won't feel no type of way about it. That's just me, So
You want to chime in? Because I want to ask the guys, do you have children?
I do.
So when
I gave
your
up my
children
baby
were
daddy
born,
DNA
did you immediately say, I want a DNA test? Did you even think about it?
So no, I didn't, and I'm halfway agreeing with TT. I'm halfway agreeing because you got to remember, when men are having kids, we just as young as y'all.
Mhm.
Like, as females, we often hear y'all say, looking back, it's like, oh, I was young, I didn't know no better. Y'all can get a pass for that. We often don't get a pass for that as men, to say that, oh, I was young. Because I was 21 when I had my daughter. She was born in January. My birthday just actually passed. So I turned 22. So I was 21 years old as a father. I didn't know. My mom made me get a DNA test. And it's crazy y'all asked this, y'all talked about this topic. I just had a long hour-and-a-half conversation with my mom yesterday about what she had to go through as a mother to get a lawyer to get me to get a DNA test. Because I didn't know she was doing all that behind the scenes. I just thought she was, can I cuss on here? Yeah.
Child, that's not
So
all.
she was just on my ass about, you need a DNA test. But I had did the math and everything, and thinking the baby mine, she came out red like me, looking like me. And even my mom had said, that baby, I don't think you need a test. She looked like you, but the lawyer told her, she
It's
said,
dead.
yeah, she told her, ma'am, I've been working in this part of the law for too long. I done seen her walk like them, talk like them,
And still not be
everything,
there.
and
Absolutely.
still not be there.
And that's a fact.
So that's
know
how
how
I ended up
crazy that
having
is?
the DNA test for my daughter. She's mine, but I'm glad that I went through it because I know other brothers that we all had kids around the same time, and they done took them
And don't go
L's.
by that. I'm sorry.
They done took them L's 7-8 years later on
Later,
down the line.
exactly.
And don't go by that. I'm gonna take to my mama, my aunt, my sister. And
No.
that it
But
don't
again,
work.
he was young, and a lot of people,
No,
when
no.
they're young, they do that. Let me tell you, if my son came to
Old
me
people
right
now
now,
do that.
my son came, and now you know what's funny? You say your mom made you do it.
Mhm.
Most mothers are like that with their boys.
Yeah.
Not with, I mean, with the girls, it's your baby. We know it's your baby, so we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't question it. But with the boys, 9 times out of 10, the mom be like, "You sure that's your baby?" We're the ones that question it. My son came to me right now and told me that girl was pregnant.
My daughter's in that situation right now, and my grandbaby will be 1 on Friday. And because the boy felt like, and the crazy part about it is, and y'all know I'm real. I put my this really real, so I got to be real about it, even with my own situation. The boy went to his parents and told their parents he fucked up way before he ever knew that she was pregnant. So when we presented the situation, brought her money, saw she was pregnant. Baby got here, the family all into it. Baby got here, now it's, oh, my son wants a DNA test.
So why not bring
She
him that?
said, I did.
What happened?
Let's do it. She was like, oh, I'm waiting on this money to come to pay for the DNA test.
You
Okay,
don't
They
need
got
money.
home. They got home
When you
DNA
go through
tests.
child, first of all, all you got to do
Better
is
go to
child
CVS,
support and
Walmart.
baby,
Absolutely, you can do
Facts.
that.
I don't know.
First and
That's
foremost,
that's a
it was-
bull.
First and foremost, it was bullshit, and I wasn't gonna look into it. I wasn't gonna fight push the issue, because one thing I told her is, guess what? We know she ours.
But
Did I just
it's gonna
say that,
happen.
though?
But it's gonna.
Yeah.
I just feel like.
It is
As a
her
mother,
personal
you don't
life.
push it for the
But-
daughter.
But can I say
Yeah.
this? Can I say this? I think it should be pushed because I think a child comes in this world as innocent as
both
possible, right? So I think a child should know who
Who their
both parents are,
Definitely.
regardless of the likes, the dislikes, the situations, or
Agreed.
whatever. So I think it definitely should be pushed, and that's my opinion.
And you
I-
don't
And
have
it's
to
true.
pay for
What I'm
it.
saying, and it's true. I was willing. Hey, let's do this. My daughter was willing. Hey, let's do this. And then they disappeared.
Girl, it take
no
this
con-
long.
Okay,
no
so-
contact,
so
no
you-
nothing. But guess what? I'm not gonna beg y'all to get a DNA test for
I
my
get that.
granddaughter.
I
I'm
get
not
that.
about to do that.
I get that. I feel like that myself. I
She
wasn't
be
gonna
like,
beg
I'm
his
not
daddy.
gonna beg you. You say you want to do it. I said let's do it. I'm not gonna beg you to do it.
Now
and
he
it haven't
said
been in her
But
life anymore.
he said that, or did his mama say that?
He's young.
She young.
So 9
She
times
young.
out of 10,
She's
it's the
16.
parents who push
Yeah.
the ball.
It's the parent. The daddy was like, oh, we don't walk away from responsibility. He gonna step up from day one. But
And-
the mama
And
was
that's the
against
thing.
it.
That's what I was gonna say. As men, a lot of people don't understand. Even grown ass men. I just turned 40. I still have a healthy fear of my mama.
Absolutely.
Y'all have so much power in our community,
Yes.
That's true.
especially with the boys. Like black people, we are matriarch.
Agreed.
Like we can talk all the shit we want to. Grandmama walk in the room and shut
It's shut
everything,
everything
down.
down.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
at
mama,
six, at that
So-
age, can you not put him on child support and be
How old
forced
is he now?
to be
17.
In the state of Georgia, 17, you are an adult.
Right.
She can go
So
put
you
him
go put
on
on
child
child
support,
support, and they'll
and
make
they
him-
would make him take the test, and you don't have to pay a
I did not
penny.
want to have to go.
I
there.
know,
didn't
but
go
you
that
have to,
route.
Kiki.
Why not?
You have to.
And I'm
They're not gonna do
gonna jump in
anything.
again. I would say
That's
do
putting
it.
that little boy in the system because of his ignorant ass mama.
No,
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 that's
he
not
doesn't.
a child.
he
He
said.
got
You handicapping him.
I'm not handicapping him. I
Yes.
can't force nobody to do shit.
It's not
But you ain't even
yours.
tried. You ain't even tried.
No way.
But
Until
you gotta.
he's- But guess what? I done already looked up all of it. Until he's 21, his mama gonna be responsible for the baby.
Okay,
anyway.
then let them do their parts.
So-
What you, what, I was
So-
you gotta do your part. Hell yeah. You
Exactly.
So
So
what
what
you
you
talking
talking
about? So then
Okay. Bring it down.
Let them do their part.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
DNA
say
test.
go ahead and get the DNA test.
Thank you.
One, that's either gonna clear everything up
Sad.
or hold him and that side
him
of the
accountable.
family responsible. Like you said, y'all doing y'all part. Y'all done check
Why?
y'all block. That's
Why is
easy.
his parents not responsible for doing their part?
And then you gotta realize too, you got a grandson or granddaughter. It don't matter. Children,
No,
blood,
it has to be.
blood gonna seek blood. So by the time she able to walk and talk, she gonna start asking where my dad is.
Fatima just said that.
Y'all need to be able to provide an answer.
What she do? She's saying that now.
Yeah, like so they naturally know.
Well,
So
right.
it's
Naturally
easier
do that.
No.
it's easier to fix it now when she little. They have to answer this shit when she's 12. And she really cutting
Absolutely.
up because where the hell my daddy at? You said this.
Because
was my
some
daddy.
kids
And
act
can I
out.
say
Some
this?
don't act out, but
Yeah.
some kids act out.
Can I also say that he may get, let's just say 21, 22 and be a mature 21-year-old knowing he have a child out here, and it's like, damn, like I done lost so much time with my child because I was a child, and then he may be the best father ever. So I think giving him that chance and the opportunity to be in
Not 'cause
her
his
life.
parents-
But I'm saying the chance and the opportunity is there. I'm just not gonna beg anyone, y'all. Y'all gotta realize I had conversation after conversation after conversation.
Since the
These
baby been
can-
born?
Yes.
Because I know you told us about it before the baby was
Yes.
born.
No, I'm talking since the baby was born. And then the mother was like, hey, don't contact us no more. We don't got nothing to do with y'all.
Child support.
That's
Let's
bullshit.
go. Let's go. Child
And,
support.
and,
That's
and, that's,
bullshit.
and get what I said. This is just me thinking, okay, y'all lost.
Can I
She's
get a-
beautiful.
This ain't working on here.
Y'all lost.
You know what? My brother, I know he
Go
don't
ahead.
mind. Everybody knows my nephew. All of y'all know my nephew. If you know me, you know my family. Everybody know my nephew. My brother and his girl had Sedarius at 15 and 16 years old. And they were the world's greatest parents. I would tell anybody that. They were great parents then. They're great parents now. They took excellent care they got jobs. They did what they had to do to support their child. Of course, they had the support of their family. But they, as young teen parents, did what they needed to do to take care of that baby. And how do you know if he know it's his child, he won't do the same thing?
But he, but he wants to. It's the mom that's stopping. The
That's what
child
I'm
wants
saying. I'm
to.
not stopping him from doing anything. My
But-
door is still open. I offer for them to come see her. Don't get a DNA because she was like, well, he don't want to see her until he gets a DNA test.
And that's
That's the
the
mama
point.
stuff. She ain't saying that. That's the mama stuff.
Right now, though, he don't want to build that bond with a child, not knowing if it's
Right,
his or not.
right.
So
That's
the
what-
responsible
that's what
thing
we
to
bring
do
it up.
is get a DNA test,
I
which
believe
is
that's
what
the
we're
mama.
discussing,
I
right?
believe that's the mom because if you just said he
But
said
just
that
take
he
the-
know,
but
that's the
fine.
mom.
But let's just take the mama out of it, right?
He can't do that at a certain age.
But
He was responsible enough to fuck at a
No.
certain age.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying when your child is in your house, just like Kofi said, when your child's in your house, the mom, it plays a strong thing. Like she might be the one that's saying whatever. I don't care what you want to see.
You ain't going.
Right until we get his DNA test. He might really want to be in child
You're
life, but
still saying until we get one. She's saying they haven't gotten one. They haven't
So
made
this
it.
I know. I'm saying the
Can
mama
I-
is stopping
can I
it.
say-
Go ahead.
So this
I'm going to the courthouse.
it's a
Yeah, I'll
process, right? So we already know how that side of the family is thinking.
Mhm.
I don't want to take care or be in this child's life unless we get a DNA. We already know that. So now the first step is okay, DNA it is. They may not move on it, but you, as the grandparent of her, you move on it. You go to the courthouse. You start the process.
Yep.
The court gonna fucking finish.
They're going
it.
to finish it.
And
Amen.
then when they finish that shit, that side of the family don't have no choice. If he's the father of this child, they don't have no choice but to take care of this baby.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
there you go. You got to start the process. We can't do shit without starting the process.
Absolutely.
You worry about their child, but worry about your child.
Yeah, and your
You can't
money
worry about
now.
them folks.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And I'm
You
I'm
need
saying
help.
that
Whether
because
you,
my mom
whether you feel like you need it or not, you need help. You get in
again
that situation. You know how it
in
is.
my situation, my mom was the one that went down to the court and started that paperwork. So
Which is
I
what we're saying.
I essentially put myself on child support
Yep.
Mhm.
because of what my mom was doing.
So I'm
and then
glad
she
you
sat
said that.
down and explained it to
Let
me.
me read some comments before you go to this. All right. So Naisha said, I think it should be mandatory. D. Nicole said, definitely feel like us as women get away with a lot of things. Even in our relationships, we can be wrong and we just say, oh, I'm sorry, and expect to move on. But your man make them suffer. Explain again. She also said, if a man think he the only one, why would he ask you for one?
I
If a
disagree.
female know she slept with more than one, then she needs to go get the DNA test.
Yep.
CJ
I
said,
disagree with that.
CJ
the
said,
first part.
damn, I would have got on this one if I would have known that this was the topic.
Oh, yeah, because this is a good one for you, CJ.
Shanae said, I'm in a situation with my daughter. I'm in the same situation with my daughter. When she came to me when she was 8, I had to be straightforward with her and let her know the situation and why he's not in her life. And Clayton said most definitely is. I don't know what his comment was to.
Can I piggyback off of that Nicole comment, the first part? Some men don't feel like you've been sleeping around with other men. That's why they want a DNA test. They probably experienced other situations around them with their homeboys, and they just want to be 100% sure. Because let me tell you, when my second son's father asked me for a DNA test, he knew I wasn't sleeping around with nobody. But because it has happened to his family member, somebody really, really close to him, he was like, babe, in my heart, I just want to be 100% sure. I don't think you sleeping around, but I want to go to sleep at night knowing that this is my child.
Yep.
So because a man asks you for a DNA test,
Don't be
doesn't
offended.
always mean that he think you sleeping with multiple men. You know, they have homeboys. Men be around their homeboys who have been through stuff, so they just like.
Statistically, look at the numbers. This shit is happening all day, every day. Men are finding out as we speak that a child that they've been taking care of for years is not their baby. And that got to be a heartbreaking situation. It has to be.
I got a
It
homeboy
affects the
just like
father. It affects both fathers if it turns out not to be theirs. It affects all family members involved. It's a big deal. It affects the child if the child is old enough and they've been bonding with this who they thought was their father. For all these years, I thought this was my dad. And then one day I found out that this stranger is my father. So now I got to learn this man and try to be a part of this man, try to love this man. You don't automatically love people just because. That's a devastating situation.
And then as a man, people got to realize every dude ain't going to still say, well, that's my baby. Every dude, some of them
That's
just going to break
Bounce.
camp.
Yeah.
And depending on how the situation was with
And now the child has
with
to
the
suffer.
mother, and depending on how the situation was with the mother of the child, like if she been giving me hell, like, yeah, that's my baby mama, and we've been going back and forth for years, and now I just find out this ain't my child, you just gave that dude an out. And everybody ain't gonna stay and do right by that child that they raised.
I'm telling
That's
you.
true.
A friend of
I
mine,
agree.
and you know him, a friend of mine, he was sitting in pseudos one day, depressed like a mug. I mean, I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? You know, you could tell something was going on. His situation, the little girl was 8 years old. He been taking care of this girl. He been bonding with this child. This was his baby. And like you said, him and the baby mama wasn't getting along. Every time he made more money, she wanted more money. So she just on his ass. I need this, I need that. You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. So he finally decided to go put himself on child support. When you go to child support, they automatically make you do a DNA test.
Now,
Found out that the baby was not his. That nigga was sitting there hurt, damn near in tears. That's a devastating situation.
Yeah.
And maybe at the time he didn't question it. Maybe he looked at the girl and felt that she was. Sometimes the baby look like you, sometimes it don't. But if you tell them that's their child and they want to be responsible, it is what it is. Some people step up to the plate and support the baby. And that's a devastating situation to find out 8 years later that that's not my child.
So
What
let me
does it do
can
now?
I ask this question? You have kids.
Mhm.
You want to be on this?
Oh yeah. it's-
Okay, so you a male, you have
A
a
new
child, a new baby, 5 months. You have a child. I'm gonna ask the ladies a question. Do you have DNA test on your baby?
No.
Did you ever
Why
think
not?
to get one?
No, we talked about it. It was nothing that we disagreed on. It's just after I saw him come out of the womb, I looked in his eyes, like it just wasn't not something that changed my mind.
Nice.
So you won't get a DNA test on him.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. You got a DNA test.
On
Right.
my oldest, I got one biological child. My second child isn't mine. We know that's not mine, but I've been
Okay.
raising her since
But
she was
your
a home
biological
baby.
child, you have
Yeah.
a DNA test.
Yeah.
All right. So with the women, because all of us have kids, do your kids' father have they ever had a DNA test?
not with me, with another mother. Yeah. I mean, the other child mother. Yeah.
So have your kid
Never.
have your kid's father DNA test? I have two baby daddies. Both of mine have DNA tests on their kids. I just
Now-
want to ask that question.
My ex-husband did it with his son because out of spite, his baby mom put him on child support because her husband was on child support. It was like, well, you might as well get on child support. So he said, out of spite too, well, let me get a DNA test in if you're going to go through this. He would have never asked for one, but because she went through that and she didn't really need to just because of whatever she was going through, that's why she...
But it's so crazy that a lot of people get a DNA test when it's being spiteful. You know,
Exactly.
Right.
and that's the sad part. You know,
Not
because
just for a sense of security.
Right.
And so
There
that's
you
what
go.
the conversation is, though.
I like that.
If the government decided, because it would save a lot of heartbreak, it would save a lot of money. If the government made it a law, it's a part of the birthing process.
Yeah.
Before you leave the hospital, before we put our names on this birth certificate, because it's easy to do while you're already there. The baby's here, it ain't nothing but a swab.
But how would the court make money?
And
They're
that's
making money.
Now that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're concerned
That's
about
a
that. Come on,
whole
pay us this
nother
money to pay
topic.
for your child.
And
to
that's
pay your child.
probably why they haven't done it, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that, but you're probably right, because they're going to get theirs regardless. But I
But
guarantee you.
as responsible parents, like we always throw in the system. We do.
We can do it
We
too.
should do it.
We can do it
You
too.
know?
And
I
they
mean,
got
it's
the
free
whole.
to do once you're at the hospital.
If
Yeah,
you're
you
at
can
the
ask for it
hospital,
then, right?
After you leave the hospital, then you got.
Yeah, because I got one at the
I didn't even
hospital.
know that. You just,
It's-
you
Yeah,
just
it
I
is.
got one at the
You can do it when
hospital
you're there.
with Messiah, and then like a week or two later, somebody came to the house,
and y'all did it.
and me and Big Lorenzo did it on King.
Right. Makes
But
sense.
I didn't care because I was secure,
Right.
honey. I know who this is.
Look at
It's
Maury.
circle.
You know, it's a joke. Maury's show is
I
a
know
joke,
I
but
had
it's, fun,
sex
it's
with.
funny as hell. But look at Maury. He making boo cool money off of you are not the father. I mean, he's making money off of this shit. That shit is crazy, but it's a reality. It's real. And the girl's running off the stage. You know what? But here's where my problem lies. Is when the moms know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's that bullshit.
Yeah, that's that bullshit.
Yeah.
80%, and I could be over exaggerating or under. Honestly,
You knew it was a
'cause I don't know.
possibility.
But you knew it was a possibility.
Yeah.
You knew if you slept with multiple women, so you knew it was a chance.
A lot of them
But it
don't
wasn't
want.
that
A
baby's
lot of them
child.
don't want the other person to be it, so they just go ahead and say, "Well,
And
Yeah, what's
that's
up?
what I was gonna say. I'm about to pass it around. Actually,
They just
that's
go ahead
what
and
I
say,
was gonna earlier.
you the dad because you the best person that they want to be."
They know you a
Yeah.
good
Right.
father
And then
to
it
your
end up
other
being the
kids,
one that
give
ain't
or take.
as
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
I've heard that. I do. I've heard that. I've heard that. I knew that this wasn't my baby daddy. And let me say, I don't want to put somebody's business out there, but
We don't know no names.
this
Yeah, we don't
person knew for a fact she slept with two different people. And just so happened the other person was a friend of the other person.
See? That's
And
bullshit.
they both agreed that she needed to get rid of the baby if she was to get pregnant.
Okay.
And she chose not to.
Okay.
So she kept the baby, and she was like, "Hey, don't tell him that ain't his child. So you about to lie."
Who she told that to?
No, the friend told her, tell her dude, don't tell her dude that that's not his child.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
he ended up finding out.
good.
It always comes. I remember when I was in college. It's crazy. Like I said, I had this whole conversation just yesterday with my mom. I was in college. I was in biology class. We were going through blood types,
Mhm.
and the teacher was saying, you know, this blood type of the father and this blood type of the mother, stuff that was going to be on the test.
Mhm.
But while we're in there, it's this little white girl in the back. She knew her parents' blood type. She knew her blood type.
Wow.
Everything the teacher had just broke down, there was no way her father's
Could have been her child.
blood type
Mhm.
and mother's made her blood type, and she broke down crying.
Yeah.
Talked to the teacher after class, like wanted to know like any possible way. No, baby, you need to talk with your parents
But you
when you
know
go
what?
home. And they had to admit that man wasn't her father, but she's 18, 19 in college,
But
done
you know
lived a
what?
life.
That's it. And here we go again, back to the innocent child.
Mhm.
That blood type and that DNA test is important to that child because what if
What
that
if they
child
get
have a
hurt?
sickness?
Yep.
What if that child later on have a health issue
Yep.
and need her
Mhm.
daddy,
Yeah.
blood or whatever?
Blood
But then
transfusion or
here we
something like
go.
And that has happened.
We don't want to get a DNA test or we lying about some stuff, but now your child, his or her life is in danger.
And now you have
So-
a choice.
That DNA test is important.
Like
For a lot of
it always come out. I got family members again. Not gonna name names either, but family members. Basically, her father wasn't her father, and the only reason she found out because she started dating her brother
Oh, my
accidentally.
God.
Didn't know.
See, that's
Brought
bullshit.
them.
Oh, my God.
They all grew up in the neighborhood together. She knew his dad, but looking back, the dad would always come around, give her money, give her sister's money, but would give her extra. Everybody
Even
thought
the child.
he knew and her mother knew, but it was on another guy.
Mhm.
But everybody thought, oh, he's giving her extra because she's the oldest. Blah 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 blah. Give the other 2 5, give her 10. So they grew up in the same neighborhood. So by the time they got to high school, you know, they like each other, they dating or whatever.
Oh, my
She bring him home and like, hey, grandma, because grandmama knew
I'm not
too.
gonna tell it.
Hey, grandma, this my boyfriend.
Oh, hell no.
You remember so-and-so? And grandma was like,
Oh hell no.
both of y'all need to sit down. And she had to tell it, but she had kept the lie as well for so long.
It wasn't her business to
Let's
tell
pause.
them.
Let's pause for a
Let me read
second.
something.
It
Let me
wasn't her
read
business to
something.
tell.
So, Shannon said in today's society, DNA tests should be very important. People don't value marriage and monogamy anymore. Chanel said, I feel like a DNA test off the jump will save a lot of unnecessary fuckery.
Absolutely.
Then Nicole said most child support is out of spite also though. Tay said yes, there should be a mandatory it should be mandatory. Kiera said this happened to my cousin for 3 years. He raised his daughter only to find out that she wasn't his in a disagreement. He didn't believe her because she was mad. After my aunt convinced him, he decided to get a DNA test and find out that she wasn't. The little girl favored him a lot though. Nobody won that situation.
He had been feeding. that
Ah,
shit them
that's
old
real.
folks say.
That's real.
That
That's
shit-
real.
I've been
Chanel
feeding.
says,
That's real.
spite of not giving him a DNA test.
Yep.
She said, when a person knows how they carry themselves and know there's no other possibility, he'll look like an ass. Jermaine said, I think people should just be honest from the beginning and keep it real. Keeping it real will go a long way. Then Nicole said, the reason why kids need to know who their parents are because they could be dating their relatives.
You just
Yes.
said that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely.
You know,
I
and
agree.
it was another thing. I remember back in the day, it was like Donahue or something, and this couple they had got married, everything, got married.
I think I remember this. They
Um,
found out they were brothers and sisters.
They were first cousins.
Okay, I remember
Yeah,
something like
but this is that family drama, these family secrets, and
Secrets.
what happened was each one of their mamas, they got into a big argument. The sisters, one sister moved away, they totally cut each other off, stopped speaking to each other, got pregnant around the same time, didn't know because they had stopped fucking with each other. So I think it was in North Carolina somewhere. So anyway, the kids grow up 18, they end up going to the same college. I like you, like me, blah blah blah. They end up staying together through college and getting married after college. But the first child came out mentally retarded.
Mm.
Then the second child came out mentally retarded, and they went to the doctor trying to figure out, what's going on. And that's how they
Same
found
damn
out.
blood.
That's how they found out they were first cousins.
Same damn blood. So the whole point in the, we put on the topic, should a DNA test be mandatory? But again, for me, the question was, you say you don't think the mom should have to pay for the untruth, even if she knew.
No, not even if she knew. Now, if she knew, that's a whole nother story because I don't agree with that. But if she strongly thought, because one of my homegirls strongly thought that this dude was her dad, and me and her, we like this. She strongly thought that this particular dude was, her son's father, and he wasn't. So it's one thing to strongly think, and there's another thing where I strongly know that he not. I'm just gonna put this on him.
But here's the thing, though. Strongly think is all you can't strongly know. You can strongly think because if you know that you slept with multiple persons, you know that there's a chance that it might not
It
be.
is a possibility, but the time frame, the cycles, and all that stuff like that. She
That's
thought she didn't do it. My whole thing is it wasn't done intentionally. Like, okay, well, I know I said this to
Bless
dude. I know this. He not the daddy, but I'm gonna say that he is the daddy. It wasn't done intentionally. She made a mistake. She did. She had sex with two people. She thought it was this person because her time frame, the cycles, kind of all it matched to be his. So she honestly thought it was his. And so 2-3 years later, and the boy did favor him, but come the DNA test proved that he wasn't the son's father. So.
And then we got to think too. The kid's not always gonna come out looking like the daddy.
They
Sometimes they're
don't.
gonna look like your
They
side of the
Yeah,
family. Or
absolutely.
if they look like the daddy and it's not the daddy, like we human beings, y'all got y'all types too.
Right.
You like light skinned
And-
dude, you
and-
like them tall.
Right.
So you done hit
Not
two
saying-
dudes that look similar.
Yeah.
On the head. Not calling names, but the situation that I was telling y'all about earlier, they look alike. The two guys look alike. About the same height, same complexion, same style, same swag, they look alike. The girl has
Yeah,
a
that's
type. So it was nobody questioning it.
CJ, I knew she was fucking two people, but she just strongly thought that this one person was the son's father.
Nobody questioned it. The family didn't question it. The mom didn't question it.
Yeah.
Nobody questioned it. This was their baby and has been their baby for years, only to find out later on that it's not. That destroyed so many people on both sides.
And
Because
all
one
three
side
sides.
missed out.
Yeah.
Think of, yeah.
And all
One
three
side
sides.
missed out on a child. One side got to lose a child. And you were saying earlier,
But do you have to lose the child?
you have to lose a child.
I was just
You don't
Now
have to
you
walk
gotta-
away from that child because the child has gotten used to that father. What I don't like is when the child is 18, 16 years old, and I'm used to you, and because the DNA says you're not my dad, you just walk away. You've been my dad. You're all I know.
But DNA doesn't make you a father.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
That's
That's what I'm
fact.
saying.
That's fact.
So
That's
why
very
would you
much
walk
fact.
away from that child when that child, you are all that child knows?
But what if both of the dudes are solid though? This is the other piece. What if both of them solid? This man want to stay in this child life, but now you just robbed me of my child
I
for the
get that.
last.
And that's what
so
happens.
now I want to come in,
Yeah.
but what rights do I have?
And
I'm
that's
not
what
on.
happened.
I'm not on the birth
Right?
certificate.
Yep.
I can't say shit.
Yep.
I can't roll up at the house. If you be like, nah, you ain't coming to get you. Now I
And-
got to argue with this dude that's the
It-
dad on paper.
It changed the
And the mom.
scenario.
The
Yeah.
dynamic,
It
yeah.
changed the dynamics. It
But
did.
we also can be a blended family.
That's got to be a choice for
That's easier
everybody
said
to
than
decide.
done.
though.
Everybody
That's
gotta
something
get
that
it.
everybody.
Yeah.
And then you got to think. He mad as fuck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's angry. He's angry.
Both
he's
of 'em.
hurt. He's disturbed. He ain't thinking about all that. He like, what the fuck? I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, the right thing maybe would be, you know what? I've been with you all these years. You my baby. I'm still gonna be a part of your life. But 9 times out of 10, that situation happened when there is no other active father.
Right.
Yeah.
Once the other father decides to be active, like you just said, it kind of pushes him away.
Yeah.
Like he don't have no place no more.
Now I
And
gotta
that
share.
fucks you up mentally.
Yeah.
So unless they decide to say we both gonna be fathers to this child,
Yeah.
which is a great idea,
It is
but
a
we
great
live in
thing.
fucking a world of fucked up people. It don't always happen
But
that way.
that's
Real
rare.
men, real
Yeah.
men,
Very rare.
real men do real shit.
I got
That
3
is right.
daddies and they take well care of me. One is deceased and my 2 stepfathers. I say stepfather because we on here, but best believe they're my daddies and they treats me no
Yeah.
different.
Right.
And I ain't got
Real
neither
men-
one of their DNA.
Right.
Real
Yeah.
men do real shit though,
Right.
for real.
And that's facts. That's facts. But
And then that
it's a hard
child, he
situation.
got to get used. He or she has to get used to going to another household. You know,
Exactly.
And I'm not
everything,
used to y'all.
everything don't go in everybody's house.
Yeah.
Now, what if that dude has been single and living free his whole life? Now, nigga, I got a 10-year-old.
And then,
Like
if
out the
the,
blue. Now I got
if the
a
biological father's an alpha male, he don't want to hear no another man being in his child life.
I mean, again, I think that's a conversation
Forget all
that
that. What's
all
best for the
parents
child?
should
It's
have.
maturity.
All parents, and that's
Maturity,
another
yeah.
thing about this situation. Nobody asked the child how she felt.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of took it and ran with it. He
Yeah.
decided he pissed off and he out. He decided to be in. Everybody started trying to play their parts, but again, it was a difficult situation. You can't just jump in like that. And
Mhm.
she's sitting here like,
What about me?
so now what? Everything I knew, my whole life just blew up in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I knew to be my life has just been buried.
Just change, yeah.
Now I gotta learn you, them, her. I mean, that's crazy.
But see, that's the thing. When parents, when two people are having when parents are having intercourse, you know, and it is with multiple people, and they bring a baby into the world, they're not even thinking about their child, you know. Because if you was thinking about their child, you would get a fucking DNA test from the jump.
I think DNA
From
tests
the
should
jump.
definitely be mandatory. I think
Definitely.
I feel you now though when you said then the government wouldn't make no money.
Yeah.
That changes the dynamics of this whole conversation because when
Yes.
we were talking
I think
earlier,
they
I
make
didn't even
it-
think about that.
I think they do it now with child support because so many people are not the dad and they having so many people, but just to be doing it,
They're not
nah,
gonna do
they
it.
gonna.
So
They-
my
they-
advice to men, I don't give a damn if it's your boo thing, your girlfriend, your wife. Get a DNA test.
So you can sleep at night.
Get a DNA test. And
Yeah,
if
she
your
gonna
wife,
be mad. She gonna be
no,
mad.
She
no,
might not
no,
be.
I wasn't mad.
I don't think I
Well,
would.
I wasn't mad. But if she is mad,
Few.
I would have been mad.
She said she would have been.
if,
I was
Yeah.
there.
What they say.
if she is mad, then that's a whole nother maturity level on her state because she has to understand I want my man to sleep good at night. So if I have
What
some
if he
food-
already
I'm
sleeping
talking-
good?
Wait a minute. If I want my man to sleep good at night, and if this is what he asks me, and I know I haven't been having sex with anybody else,
It shouldn't
so
be a
he
problem.
can have a clear mind, baby. Yes, get a DNA test. Yes, go ahead.
Team of custom come in and help them out.
I got you.
We
You
got
gotta also think I was 18 and I was 24 at that time. Like I said, what? I would have felt some type of way.
And
Yeah.
you know what
Yes,
it is?
earlier. I mean, maybe now, maybe it is there, but then it
Yeah,
was.
in
what?
that moment.
You're not
and
by
that's-
yourself. A lot of women would have been offended. A lot of women are offended when you ask for a DNA test. But the
Just
mature
even thought.
Fatima, she wasn't. And as I sit
And I was
today,
young.
I
was
probably
23.
wouldn't. But I was married when I had my two youngest, as y'all know. If Tyrone would have asked me for a test, I can't honestly say I would have been like, oh yeah, no problem. I probably like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
But that's
I probably
the
would have been
difference too.
offended.
That's the difference too. We gotta look at the dynamics of relationships right now. A lot of folks ain't married. We
But
do,
even
we
when,
do these
no,
long
no,
term.
but now we're gonna
All the what is
go
that?
ahead. Because a lot of married motherfuckers cheat.
Oh, they do.
Women
They
and
do.
men that cheat.
Absolutely.
So
They do.
that's a title to me.
Yeah.
Marriage is a title. It doesn't mean shit sometimes, okay? Because some people don't even
Nah,
value
don't.
that. They don't
No.
even value their marriages. So
what I'm
because
talking
because
about.
you have a child, now I gotta value the marriage and not ask you for a DNA test. No, half y'all motherfuckers in these people inboxes.
Yeah.
Bitches, females, and men.
Yeah.
So yeah, ask for that DNA
But
test.
that's what I'm saying about the dynamics of where we are in
Where we are
relationship now.
today.
So just even like you just said in marriage, I 100% agree. But that's where we're at. So I think to go back to the original question, yes, it should be mandatory.
I think
But
it should be
To
mandatory.
Nini's point, like what the court's gonna do? Like nigga, that's some of our money. Like we ain't finna make this shit mandatory.
Yeah,
But
that's
Because it's
not
too easy.
me.
Because the laws haven't caught up.
Absolutely not.
And it's on purpose. It don't take much to get a law passed. If we gonna be real with it, might
Yeah,
take a little bit of time for some paperwork to go through the system, but it's not that hard. Now it's 2022. We've been having this same conversation since the 90s.
Probably before that.
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
I got a few comments. Let me read a few comments. So CJ said, you don't have to lose, but you have to accommodate the situation. I have to take a DNA test for a 14-year-old. If he's mine, I'll move forward accordingly. But I will never take him from his
It's
father
7 o'clock.
that he knows if he is mine. Jermaine said, look, as adults, you know who you sleep with or who you slept with. I personally went 8 years before I found out my daughter was not mine. The mom did not tell the child, and I was not the father. Did not tell the child I wasn't the father. She told me she preferred I be the father, but you got to be honest with these guys from the beginning. CJ said that Nene
I'm
beat
sorry.
me.
So they chose not to tell the child.
Right.
The mom asked
Ain't bad.
asked her not to tell that he's not.
So
the father.
then
It's
that's
gonna
kind of
come
what
out.
you were
That's real.
saying
That's how I
before,
feel.
though. So now you done found out. Well, you're not the daddy, but because you've been in her life for so long,
Don't
let's
confuse
not
her.
tell her. So then, what if they go out and get into a car accident
The
or some
devil a
shit?
lie. It's gonna come out.
That's what I'm saying. Why?
It's
That's
gonna come
it's
out.
something
But
to
people
deal
don't
with.
think of those things. People
They don't care about
No,
that.
that's selfish.
They care about how
They're
they
thinking
look.
about them and how
That-
they look. They're
yes,
not thinking about the child.
This
Yes.
these
No,
are these
that's
fucked
very
up
selfish.
family secrets that
Yes.
people
Oh,
keep.
But some people feel like they caring about the child or thinking about the child by sparing their feelings.
Feelings. We get over feelings.
Yeah.
Everybody get over
But
feelings.
they gotta-
why
they
you
gotta
handle your
tell 'em.
shit
Because
in
I'm going
the
to have
In
some
the
feelings
beginning.
if I find out.
You think they gonna feel better at 18 versus 8? At 8 years old, forgive a lot of shit. They're
Yeah.
8. You know what I'm saying? So if you let them know younger, you know, hey, this is what happened. You ain't even got to get into all the details because an
Waited
8-year-old
too long.
really ain't
You
even
done
gonna
waited
understand.
18 years.
But at
That's too long.
18, that's a lot more to have to understand and explain.
Because
And
you
they
had
gonna
so
be
many
pissed
chances
off.
to tell me.
Yeah,
that
you
way.
had all my life to tell me this shit. You tell me now. I think
Right.
the best thing to do is to find out when they're
It's
younger.
when they born.
Yeah.
When they born.
And that's and
Absolutely.
then so what I'm getting at too is right. You got a lot of men that's mad at the baby mama when they find out that the child isn't there.
And
But
forget
baby,
about the
you
child.
had the opportunity to get a DNA test on your own. So that's why I'm giving that advice. Whether you in a relationship or you just fucking around or you married, get a DNA test so it won't be the blame on the mother.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, shit.
That's
All
why
right.
we some kind of-
Ashley said, I offered my child's father DNA test. He was offended, but I didn't ever want it to come up down the road. CJ said, when I asked my baby mama, she just broke down crying. Ashley said, contrary to popular belief, relationships, bonds, people all change. I didn't ever want the validity of my child's father to linger in his head if we were to ever hit a crossroad down the line. Cut the bullshit or the ability to invite bullshit at the beginning.
That's what you said.
Antonio said it should be because I'm the bigger person, weight wise, and on both sides of my family. My parents are small as fuck.
Wait.
He's trying to say he don't look nothing like his parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so children can't
Saida
jump.
said, CJ, what you want to tell me? Pass it.
You said what?
Brothers, get the test to
Pass it.
the.
But okay,
Well,
so
Get
keep
the
so
test.
you can't
hold
so
on, wait, time out.
Wait.
No, ain't
So-
no past nothing. Because if you on real and rare, you bring your ass on real and rare, and you comment on real and rare, we gonna address that shit.
Real
So
and real.
if you don't want the
Yes.
shit to be out there, don't bring your ass on Real and Rare podcast. Y'all have outside conversations with each other.
All right,
Ain't no
and here
damn
she
pass.
goes. She said that's a damn lie. Stop camping on this app with people and leave me out of whatever you got going on.
okay.
She said
So
what she
can
said.
children not
I'm
look
just
like
a guess.
other people in the family?
Absolutely.
Can they not jump?
Genetics jump all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. If you put me and my mother together and that's my mom, we don't question moms. We
Look
question
a little
dads.
man down, little
But
man
if
like
you put me and my mom next to each other, I don't look nothing like
Nothing.
my mom. I'm not
Like
shaped like her.
auntie or
I
something.
don't look like her either. If you want to know the truth, I look like my dad's side of the
Mhm.
family. I am my father's child from head to toe. I walk like the motherfucker. Like I
That's
look like
me.
my dad.
I look like
I don't
my
look
dad.
like nobody in my family.
my two
I
kids
look
look
like my dad.
nothing like their father. They
Yeah.
had one. They might have had one period in their life, probably a couple of months or a year, that they look like their dad. But they are my triplets. Like they never look. They might have their hands or toes or something like that, but they do not
It
look like
happens.
them.
So we can't
I got
necessarily.
strong
Shit,
genes.
people think my
What I
children
mean.
don't look like me. They say my brother kids look like more like me
Yes.
than my kids do.
They say my niece look like me.
Yeah, so we definitely can't go by that. If I go in a room with my niece and my nephew and my own 3 children, they gonna pick my niece and my nephew to be my kids versus my own 3 that I brought into this world, which is my kids don't look like me. It's we can't go by that.
You know, man, that's wrong.
We good. So going back though,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
don't think that the mom should be held accountable? Do you think the mom should have some accountability?
Hell yeah.
You do?
Cause we're gonna be held as men. We get held accountable
Okay.
whether we want to or not. Even if the nigga run, if she puts him on child support, then he
You
on
got to
child
take care of that
support.
baby. Yep.
Whether or not the
Yeah.
court system catch up with him, then they take his tax money later on. Like
Exactly.
he's
They
about
gonna
to
lock
pay
your
something.
ass up.
That's
They
That's
That's
why
what
they
it
suspend your driver's
Like
license
put your ass
if you
in
don't pay
jail.
your child support.
Absolutely.
And
So then
everything.
I need
Say
you to
something. If
rethink
you-
what you're saying.
No,
then.
I'm not rethinking what I'm saying.
Think about that,
No,
though.
no. What I'm saying is, do I think she should be held 100% responsible? No. I think both parties. Should she have some responsibility in help?
That's what I'm saying. So if this man been taking care of this child for 8 years, and the court's been on his ass, and he done been through the bullshit for 8 years just to find out it's not his child.
And she get no
All she
discussion.
get to say is, "Oh my bad," and that's
Right.
it. She get to go to bed at night.
'cause he
Nothing
ain't
happens
getting,
to her. That's
he's
not
not,
right.
He's not getting that money back.
He's not getting his money
And
back.
I
No,
know
but
it.
but you know what the judge probably gonna say?
What?
You should have got a DNA test.
Yeah, them
son.
gifts.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what. But that I agree
They gonna
that
put
it should
they
be
gonna
from
put
the
it.
jump.
They gonna put it back on him too.
That and it
And that's
always
his point.
happens.
That's what
That's
his point
society
is.
and
So-
Women get away with everything.
So
what
again,
he's
that's what I'm
saying.
saying. Y'all as mothers have a heavy hand in a lot of young men's decision when this happens. Now,
Well,
if
that's
you
right.
35, y'all grown and y'all fucking and y'all got jobs and all this, it's totally different.
Mhm.
But starting out as a teenager, going through your 20s, not knowing the process, not knowing what this look like, and I hold myself accountable. This is why I talk to young men about this, and they look at me. They look at me crazy. But the other part of that is, even though he's sleeping with this young lady, as men, we often see other black women the way we see our mama.
Right.
Again, because we're matriarchal. So we're not going to question
She'll
y'all.
help you.
We're not going to question you when somebody comes up pregnant. We're not going to question whatever you tell us if it sounds good.
Right.
So he's gonna run with that. Well, my mama, she said it with mine.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
but
facts.
I don't think she'll do that.
Yep.
And I'm having to damn near shake these little dudes to get them to think, and I gotta go through
Outside the box.
this whole
Well,
thing.
handle it.
My homeboy just went through it. He just went through it. He had a 2-year-old. He driving 6, 7, 8 hours from here to New Orleans to pick up his daughter, what he thought was his daughter, back and forth for 2 years. And somebody was just on him about, bruh, get the DNA test. Get the DNA test. Something came up. Somebody finally said something where it clicked in his brain, and he went and got, like, I forgot who said it earlier, a DNA test from like Walgreens, CVS. Did it at the house. When her mama came to pick up the baby, he had that test waiting on her and gave her baby back. And the chick is still, she 5 now. She's sending him pictures of her in kindergarten and all that stuff. And he's seeing this child that he done held and raised for 2 years. And the mama's still texting him pictures and shit. So he's watching her grow up, but he decided to opt
But
out.
and to him, that was his child
That was
till he
his-
found out, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, even though the mom was wrong,
Mhm.
that child you're the only dad that child knows.
But
So-
she was 2 at the time.
So
And
at
he
two,
made
gotta
the
make a
decision. He
Yes.
made the decision
Yes.
to walk away. But like I said, the mama's still calling or whatever, or like little milestones, like I say, first day of kindergarten
Mhm.
or stuff. And the little girl is fucked up because she was so little, but she still has it etched in her mind. Oh, I remember you. You were my good daddy.
That's what I'm saying.
God.
That's what she
exactly
tells-
what I'm saying.
That's what she's saying to him, and it's gut wrenching for him. But as a man, he don't have any kids. He still want a legacy. He still want a wife. He can't play baby daddy
And
to a
that's what
child
you're
in New Orleans. Like
Yeah.
that's the difficult part of it. Like, do I stay or do I go?
I know.
And
I'm
it-
just
and
saying,
it
don't
wears-
lose. You don't have
and
to
it
lose
wears-
touch with the child. I'm not saying.
And some do,
That's
some
all I'm
don't.
saying.
I think he made a good decision. The baby's 2, so you know
I get it.
he had a. I
Yeah.
get what he had a chance to make a decision.
Yeah.
At 9 and 10, that's a little bit harder.
Right.
Yeah.
At 16, that's even more harder. At 18,
And
that's
so,
fucked up. I mean,
or you find out after you a grandparent to this child that you
Right.
thought was yours.
even more worse. Right.
And it's crazy.
It's
Because
very
family
very-
involved.
Let me read a
Yeah.
couple of comments. Kiara said, "I agree. It can become an open door to all kind of negative paths with that child. The beginning of a alternative view of life." Chanel said, "They can look like the other relatives, but somebody in the family better see the similarities." Antonia said, "Women know who they fucked." Chanel said, "Accountability in my also voice." Exactly. And that's it right now.
Also, I don't care if you make minimum wage. That courthouse gonna make you pay at least $100 a month.
Minimum wage. It goes by your income. And
Right.
if you want to be truthful
Minimum wage
about
is
it,
$300.
if you
Oh,
want
it
to
don't
be
went up.
truthfully about it, back in the day, they only looked at the father's income. Like you said,
Now they look at
the
both.
laws are behind, but it's
No.
getting better.
No.
They don't do that anymore. They
Our
look
money-
at both incomes.
Our
now.
money will be 15 next month. Guess what? They look at both incomes.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
said.
what-
Back in the
that's
day,
what she
back in the
said.
day, they only went by the male's income.
Income.
Now they look at both parent
Right.
incomes and make a decision because everybody got to live. I mean, at one point they were taking food out of that man's house, and that wasn't fair. So
Mhm.
they have caught up a little bit, but we're not there yet.
Right.
But the best thing y'all said, it don't cost that much money. You can go right to CVS and get a damn.
It's worth their life.
It's
Them
worth
numbers.
your life to spend $20, $40, whatever.
And $100.
Whatever it costs, you could go right to the drugstore and get a test. All three of y'all sit down, swab the cheek, send it in, you get your results. Now you can sleep at night. It's there. It's out there for us to do. And I disagree. I mean, TT has her opinion, but I disagree. I think women should be held accountable. I think I don't care. Women should be held accountable. As a woman, how y'all saying as a man, he should do this. Well, fuck, as a woman, you should do certain things too. You should be held accountable. If you know you done fucked up this man life all these years and took this man money and gave him hell all these years, you should try to do something to try to make up for the trouble you caused.
Restitution,
Sometimes,
something.
yeah, because he's not getting the money
Make
back
her
from the
ass pay
state,
that money back.
from the court.
Make her ass pay
Yeah.
that
At least
money
half
back.
of it.
Pay
Something.
something back the same way they put him on child support. They could put her on some kind of
The men
payment
not
plan.
gonna get their time back though.
They're not gonna
Yeah.
get the time
They're
back,
not.
but
It's something.
Something. It's something
it's
more than just
something.
saying, "Oh well, my bad. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Oh well, it's over with now. Go to bed."
And a lot of dudes, you would be surprised. A lot of dudes be like, "Don't even worry about it," because he already got to eat that. The money gone, the time gone, and up here he got to get this right.
Mhm.
Cause me and my homeboy still talk about it.
Mhm.
Cause we got other friends that went through it too, but his was like, cause he was like 36, no kids, never been like happy. Like you could watch the nigga walk on water. He was a daddy.
His father.
You
He was
couldn't
excited
tell
about being a
him
father.
shit. And that girl put
That's not fair.
that needle in that balloon,
That's not
and it
fair.
was a wrap. I remember I walked into the job one day, like you said with your homeboy. I knew something was wrong. I just stopped in the doorway and I looked at him, and he looked up at me, and the first thing he said, "She ain't mine." That's all he said. That's all he said.
That's sad. That's not right. That's not right. Anyhow, y'all want to keep going? Y'all want to? Call it
That's why I
quits.
did it. One time more time.
Yeah. Get your DNA test, whether you
Facts.
you got a boo thing, you got a girlfriend, you got a wife. I don't give a damn. Tell your wife you want a DNA test. If she feels some type of way, that's on her ass. But for you and your security, and so you won't take care of a baby for 8 years and then come around and blame the female. You as a man do your own responsibilities and get your own fucking DNA test. That's all I gotta say.
I think with me and Jazz is because we were so young and we got married early. Everybody know we was in 20-year marriages. So I think back then it probably was, but it's out so much now that just like you said, married people just doing whatever they want to do. We wasn't moving like that. So it made
It
a
sound
little
foreign
difference
to you
20
now.
years ago.
Yeah.
Right. 22 years ago or
Right.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
different. Like they just wilding out now. It's like you said, Fatima, it's like it's a paper now. It don't mean like what it's supposed to mean to people.
The value,
Yeah.
marriage value doesn't sit like it used to. With
Right.
some people, not all. Some people
Not
still
all.
value their
Yeah.
marriage, but I agree. We live in a world where you just do what you want to do nowadays, and there's no
And it's sad.
consequences.
Yeah.
And but that's my point to this conversation. There's no consequences. I think all parties should be held accountable. I think male, female.
I mean, I
Everybody
agree.
should
I'm not saying the female shouldn't have no accountability at all. Absolutely not. I think it's some accountability, but I also think that a male should be accountable too, because we always want to blame and
No,
have-
we're
Let
agreeing
me-
with you.
let me
I'm
take
agreeing
this
with you.
up first.
I get it.
I said this to y'all earlier, and before we log out, I'm gonna say this. Just like a man, a woman calling rape on a man, right?
Somebody just said that to me.
Yeah. If a woman said that this man raped, it happens all the time in sports and celebrities and situations like that. But it happens to regular people too. She cried rape. They go through court. They go through the investigation. Find out this bitch lied. She don't lie.
Right.
Nothing happens to her.
But that's different.
She go home.
She should.
Oh
that-
well,
definitely.
we
But
sorry.
no, in
That's
rape-
not
in rape,
right.
false allegations, you can't accuse for that.
That's not right.
Yeah,
Consequence, you're reprimanded for
That's
that.
what
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. They don't get no slap on the wrist.
These women ain't paying for this shit. What they
Right,
doing?
it's a little-
Like that's detriment of character. That person can sue
If that man, if he
Yeah.
sues her.
But there we go. And so here we go again. Here we
You
go.
gotta
Coming
think.
back to
So
they need to take responsibility. If somebody
I
accuse
agree
you of
with
rape,
you. I agree with you. But you
stand up for
gotta
yourself.
look at the totality of the picture. As a man, I can lose my job
Yes.
off of allegation.
Yep.
I can lose my family
Yep.
off of allegation.
You're embarrassed,
I can-
defamation
they're
of character.
And just the fact that somebody used that word in my name in the same
Exactly.
sentence, I got that
It never looked
stain
like
on
the
me.
same. Yes.
Nobody.
Yes.
Well,
So
we do it all the time. It's,
with all
oh,
of
that
that,
nigga
are
did
you
something.
gonna take responsibility as a man to make sure that this female doesn't get a slap on the hand, or are you just gonna let it go? You gonna try to sue her?
We had this topic before.
Are you gonna try to sue her?
It depends on the man. Me personally, I would probably try to sue for defamation of character, something like
But
that.
most men
But if
won't.
so many men just be like, I just want to
Fuck
be
it.
done
I
with
just
that
want to
shit.
be done with it.
But
we
it-
had this topic before.
But
You
that's
don't
fine.
remember that?
I get that.
We
But-
talked about
but
how men
Yeah.
that
don't do
brings
that.
me back to my point. Responsibility. Like we want to blame, but we have laws in place to get situations taken care of, and men don't want to fucking do it.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Because
Tina,
when
though.
most of
A
the
lot
time we're not
what
built
he
like
just
that.
said, most men just want to be done with the situation. Hey,
But that's
and number
but
two,
that's an
the
excuse.
shit ain't cheap either.
No,
you gotta pay for
that's a
all
man.
that shit
That's
too.
that's us having peace. Because guess what? I can sue you. That don't mean I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that because
But you
of
standing for something.
my regular 9 to 5.
Don't mean you don't get no
I'm a
money.
paralegal.
Mm-hmm.
My regular 9 to 5. I can sue you. That don't mean I'm gonna win. So the way the court system works, it still can get drug out. You could play the game on your side with your lawyer and drag it out,
For
and I
years.
still got shit on my
But you
name
fought
for
for it.
something that I didn't do.
Right,
And,
but you
and some
fought
brothers are
for
gonna
it.
feel like me, yes, because I've worked in that type of environment. So me, yes, I'm gonna see it through. I know this shit can take some time, but the average
A lot
brother
of men, they
that
don't wanna.
that don't work with the law,
They don't want to be patient.
that patience, and then it's like at the end of the day, what are you gonna get?
But see,
How much money are you gonna
CJ
genuinely
just
get off
said,
that?
CJ
Right.
just said, doesn't matter. No court ruling can't change the public opinion. Fuck a public opinion. It's
No,
self.
that matters.
self.
The public opinion matters when I go to my next job and my name has been in the paper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but
Yeah.
see, guess what? They
So
gonna
how
also
many-
know that you fought for it as well. Like, I think y'all missing my point.
No,
No,
I
we
hear you. I hear
We
you.
hear you.
But who's
They're
gonna
gonna see.
gamble?
They're gonna
I'm just
see
stretching
that
it out.
They're gonna see that you stood on your 2 feet and you fought for that shit. Whether or not you lose or you win, it's a self thing, and I think I'm going more.
But as a man myself, I know I ain't do this shit
well,
in the
then
first
y'all
place.
keep taking losses as men.
We do.
Nah.
No, I'm telling
Because
you
y'all got
that
a lot of excuses
as
when it
it's
comes
not
to
an
certain
excuse.
shit. You keep taking
it's
losses.
not an excuse.
taking
It's
losses when
how
it come to
I
child support.
feel as a man.
Take
And
it
most,
low.
most men feel
because
like
it's like, what's the
a lot
point?
of men will agree
Because when
with
you say
And
as
they
self,
agree, but
when you
guess
say
what?
as
It's still
self,
a fucking excuse.
I mean, I
as-
hear what you're
I
saying.
can
I'm
feel-
not disagreeing with what you're
I
saying.
I
I'm
feel
just
good
keeping it
as
real.
self
And real
already
is what he's
because-
saying is true.
I feel good as self because I know I ain't do this shit in the first place. So what self-esteem is? How's that going to help my self-esteem to sue this woman when I can just cut ties and be done with the situation and try to move on?
Right.
But I can go to this next job and just because of an accusation,
Mhm.
I got shit on my name,
Yep.
and everybody ain't
And
gonna
you ain't
fuck
fought
with me.
for that shit.
And then,
And
but
you
he
ain't
already
fight.
went
It don't-
through it
right.
because he had to fight to prove it.
It don't
That
matter.
he- that it
I
wasn't
don't
him.
think I say fight
Even if
for it.
even
That's
if
my
you fight
opinion.
for it,
is
my
what
thing
it
is like you said, it's still on your record, is it not?
But still, and
I
then you
mean-
got to fight to get it off.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
then
once
and
they
then if you
find
win,
you're not guilty, it's not on your record. You're not guilty. It's not on your record.
And then you gotta look because I
Not
know
on
a
your
brother.
record.
I know a brother now just off of a divorce and a lie that he was abusive. This man can't even set foot in his family church anymore.
Mhm.
His wife and the kids welcome.
it don't matter what
He
the
know.
court.
Look at you
It don't
different.
matter what the
But
court
but
says.
I think you by you saying he hit me versus he raped me is two different things. Because you can't really prove that somebody abused you because you got verbal abuse, you got physical abuse. Now when you scream rape, they can do all types of tests and shit like that. You
Yeah.
know, so I think that's
But
But
they can
that's
have
what I'm
this.
saying. So if
Mhm.
that's the case with, hey, he abused me, you can't prove it. What do you think rape is going to do to it? What type of accusation is rape for a man
I have a friend
if he didn't do it?
that he had a situation where his ex got mad at him because he moved on with his life, got married, and had another kid. They had a child together. She decided to put in the air, in the atmosphere, that he had been inappropriate with their daughter. That shit fucked up
I know
his
somebody like
entire
that too.
life.
I know somebody like
It
that. too.
fucked up
And
his,
he had
like you said,
absolutely no child.
his job let him go.
But it fucked
Yeah,
up
He
his
got his job
mentality.
back, but it never changes
it
how
will mess up
you're.
your mentality. I'm not
It-
saying
your
yeah, it's
mentality-
gonna mess up your
It
mentality.
messes up your character. People
But think about the
look at
brothers.
you different.
Think about the brothers that haven't dug themselves out. Because there's some that's gonna fight. They're gonna fight like hell. Then there's other brothers that shit gonna break. And this is just going off topic, but this is going to why black men are self-deleting, committed suicide. Our numbers are rising. It's shit like this that we don't talk about. So I appreciate y'all having me on and talking about this specific topic because that weight on a man, and we don't have options
And then
like,
see, that's-
like a lot of times women have.
And we
Right.
talking
So-
about that, like who do men talk to?
Mhm.
When men going through their shit, who do men vent to?
And you
You
got
know?
to have. I'm with a mentoring group where we get on the phone and we talk every Tuesday as men. And as we
It's like about
as we say, you got to have 2 or 3 of these
They want
groups.
Mhm.
But there's so many other brothers that don't have those groups. They don't got nobody to talk to, and they got a lot of. And brothers, I'm talking specifically to us. You got to find somebody real to talk to. Everybody can't be your fun
But
friend.
a lot
Everybody
of
can't be
men
your partner
don't
to
care
drink
talk
with.
Anyway, it's the pride. It's the I'm private.
but
They
you-
don't want to talk
And
about
that's
things.
and
They
that's
don't
what
wanna
we've been
get
taught.
or express what they got going on to someone else because they feel like you don't understand. So
No.
what do you do then?
We have that conversation.
You got to find some type of an
Somebody,
outlet.
right.
That's part of the reason I started my podcast. Because I know I'm just not. My luck ain't that goddamn bad.
Right.
The shit that I went through ain't just happened to me.
Right.
So it's somebody else out there. So I was willing to, like I said, even coming over here, I joke about it being the sacrificial lamb or whatever. But I'm willing to talk about this stuff to show other brothers it's okay to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Because you acting like it didn't happen, and it did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what is a conversation gonna
And it's
hurt when you
affecting you
actually
inside.
exactly, and you done already
that's
went
why a
through
lot
it
of
and it's
men
fucking you up.
Suicide because they don't talk about it. They don't stand on what they stand for,
Yeah.
and that's why
Even
they
like
going
suicide,
into
they
suicide mode.
damage. They
hurt, they damage, and,
Yes.
and we're seeing it. We're seeing the results just in day-to-day activities. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. I mean, we talked about the fact that men don't talk about their issues. We had that conversation before. We also had the conversation about what you just said earlier about how men don't want to go through the drama. Men say all the time, I want peace, I want peace. We hear that shit
Peace.
50,000 times a day.
They want
They
peace.
don't want to go through the drama. They don't want to go
want
through the
peace,
fight.
but
We
they
be
really
ready to
don't
fight.
have
We
peace.
with the shits.
They want peace,
Women are with the
but they
shits.
really don't have peace. Let
That's
that shit
facts.
sink in.
That's facts.
Let
That's
that
facts.
sink in.
That's facts.
Let that
Women
sink
Depends
in.
on the
are
man.
But if you-
more
if you-
easier to go through the ropes. We
If
gonna
you-
fight. We gonna talk our shit. We gonna go down to the courthouse. Well, no, because she ain't went to the courthouse yet. She's saying, "Fuck it, I want my peace." So it's a
And
personal
my piece is
decision.
letting shit go. And it affects the baby in the end, but guess what? It's gonna affect her either way it go. Because I can go and do this, and we can get money for this child. This man can still not be in his baby life, and then what?
But what if they
You got a little
do?
help.
I don't want to go back through this.
You
on
got a little
live.
monetary
But what if
help.
they do? What if they find out
No,
that
no,
this
what
is
you-
their
what
baby
you-
and they take
It don't have to be.
You don't know that.
You
You
don't
don't
know
know
that.
until you try. You don't
They
know
might
until
find
you
out that
try.
this is their child, and everything changes.
They have the open opportunity. It's a year.
But they want
Yeah.
something from you and her. They want a DNA test.
Get it! I'm open to do it. I'm open to do it. Y'all making it seem like I'm not open to giving a DNA test. Get the fucking DNA test. I'm
Okay,
willing
well
to
start
do
the
it.
process. Why you?
Why I gotta start the process?
Because
You want the DNA
it's,
test.
it's not even about them. It's about journey.
They have to be willing to do it. You can't cut off all lines of communication after you say you want a DNA test and then say, fuck it, we'll go ahead and do what
But
you
you
gonna
don't know
do.
that.
And they expect, I don't know what.
You don't know if they're
This
gonna
was-
cut it
this-
off.
They did. It's
You
a
saying they
year.
already have.
They have. It's a
Because
year.
you haven't
You're saying-
provided them.
No, the
No,
mom,
no,
the
no,
mom
no.
has.
The
and
mom
right now,
has.
as
The
a
mom
man,
has,
and you
he's
say there's a
minor.
father in there.
So guess what? But
Yes,
guess
but
what?
she-
The
is she
dad done
married?
backed out too. I can't get in contact with neither one of them. So
Oh,
they
you-
don't stay in the
you know
same
why.
neighborhood anymore.
She said
So
so.
guess what? I
You
got
know
to do.
why.
You know what I got to do?
Once mama dropped that
Send some
baby,
papers to
mama
their
do.
house.
There you
They
go.
don't stay there
I'm
anymore.
with their fine ass.
Child.
Who
They
the
will.
fuck would I go through all that? If y'all want the paperwork, I'm willing to give it to you. Y'all want the DNA test, I'm willing to give it to you. But what I will
So
not
y'all don't
do
know
is
the
fucking
school-
chase you.
You don't know what school he
Not
goes to.
finna chase you.
You ain't even started the chase.
She don't want
What
to.
you
That's what she's
mean?
saying.
I'm the
Okay.
one that started the
Yeah.
communication.
Alright.
Y'all
This
feel
is-
differently about it, but at the end of the day, I'm not about to run behind nobody to get no fucking paper.
Okay, let me get on Kiki's
Don't-
side. Wait a
don't-
minute.
don't cut it out. We doing really right. Don't
Right,
cut it off.
right, don't cut it off. Okay, my son's dad, like I said, it was all, heavenly, yeah, my baby coming, this, that, and the other. Okay, the child came after about a year or two. He started slowly, ain't really doing nothing. Like Kiki said, at some point, I was like, I ain't running after this nigga to take care of my child because I got him. And he even said himself, I don't do too much because I know you going to do what you need to
But
do.
that's not right.
Which is stupid. But like you said, sometimes you don't even want to go through. It's like, why I got to make you take care of your child? I get it, Kiki. I totally, but I was
I can
18.
see if-
I was
can
young.
see
I
if
was
I'm like,
18,
hell
20
no.
at the time.
I can see if I'm like, hell no, I ain't going to get no DNA test. Y'all ain't brought up. Yo, no, I'm not like that. I'm saying, hey, cool, let's do it.
Meet you
Let me
halfway.
know where to meet you at. I'm
I mean,
not
but I
gonna
put him on
look for the
child
place.
support, so I can't
Find
do
a place. Let's go. She told me, all right, we're waiting on this money to come in. Then she comes right back. You know what? We're breaking all ties. Don't call our phone. Don't text us. We don't want to have no communication.
That's her easy
It's
way
a wrap.
out.
So
That's
guess
what I'm saying.
I'm
So she
supposed
gonna
to
give her
run
the
up
easy
there.
way
I'm
out.
supposed to run
No,
up
you
there.
gotta fight. I want you to fight.
I'm not doing it.
I want you to
I'm
fight.
not doing it.
That's what I
I'm
want
not
you to
doing
do.
it.
I want you to
That's
fight.
what we differ. I'm not doing it. I'm not about to make nobody.
You right. That's what we
even,
different.
That's
you.
even for my kid's father.
right, 'cause
I'm not about
Fatima
to
is
make
cut
this
from
man
a
take
different
care of no
cloth.
fucking
I'm
kids
gonna
that
fight
don't
for
wanna
mine.
do. That's
I'm
not,
gonna fight.
getting no money is not taking care of a child.
I ain't
yo.
never said, but I ain't said shit about no money. Did you hear that come out my mouth? I ain't say shit about no money.
Y'all saying
I
one
said
certain
a
person is
DNA
child support,
test.
DNA
The
test.
child support starts the DNA test. When you go down there to the, you gotta start the process. You gotta go to the child support in order for them to get a DNA. I'm talking about DNA test for journeys
sake. I don't give a fuck about no money. I know you can't make the other party take care
Guess
of
what?
the
And
child.
I can go down to the child support office, file the paperwork, and guess what? They still not fucking show up. Or they can come take the DNA test. They got the DNA and they
It's
still
a
not
process.
around.
The
So
court-
guess what? What am I?
the judge-
It's still a lost cause.
No,
for
it's
the
not.
baby.
Because if you go down there, the judge, if they subpoena them so many times, they gonna find them motherfuckers. They gonna make them take care of it. They gonna put them on child support where the shit is on paper. You gotta start the process. That's what I'm saying. I ain't even talking about the money part. Like, you have to get a DNA test for her, regardless of not if they want to take care of the child or not. That ain't in your control. You can't tell them folks what to do and what not to do. That's your grandbaby. That's your situation, not mine.
You're
I'm
right.
done with it.
You're
I
right.
don't
It
give
is
a
my
damn. I
situation.
don't give a damn what you do.
It is my situation.
And she
I
chooses
pray,
to not
I
do
pray
it.
like hell
And
that
it's
he's
okay.
supposed to come around and be in this baby life. She is so fucking precious. I do. But guess what I ain't about to do? Beg him. I ain't about to chase him. I'm not about to do none of that. I don't feel like as her grandmother, I should have to do that.
And
I
you
put
should.
an open door policy. Let's do this. I'm willing and ready.
Sonia,
My
what the
daughter
hell?
is willing and ready.
Sonia, what the
You
hell
should.
you talking about?
You
Talking
should.
about Shawty in the black and white really don't listen. Please elaborate. And who
And
you
everybody-
talking about?
everybody
Man,
on black and white.
Nigga, this
'Cause
Atlanta,
I'm on your
everybody
ass.
saw it. Like, the fuck?
No, we on real
Shit
and
just
real.
got real.
I'm on his ass because if he talking
Shit
about
just
me, I
got
want to know
real.
what I'm talking about. It don't matter. This what this is.
I mean, but that's her
Yeah.
opinion. So
This
whoever,
is
I don't know who said it.
Everybody
but that's her
got opinions like everybody got assholes, okay?
That's her opinion.
So don't tell me I don't listen. If you gonna
Me
say I don't
personally,
listen,
I'll make it. I will go to the child support.
Elaborate.
office. I would. But
Like
that's
I
her
said,
choice.
I've been with Kiki at, and I wasn't chasing no nigga to take care of mine. And I get it.
but he's young.
It's not about the money. Truthfully, it's not about the other family.
I know, but it's not the
It's
chase.
about
It's
it's
why
about the clarity for the baby.
I get it.
when she
And
gets
I
older.
get it, but it's like, why do I have to
I
make
want
somebody
that.
take care of their
Listen,
child?
hear me
for
out.
her.
Hear me out. File the paperwork. If you got their name or anything like that, the court is going to find them. If they don't come, they're going to hold the young man in contempt. They're going to respond to that. After that, they got to do the heavy lifting. Because now he has to go down there,
And
sign
the
the
sad
birth
part
certificate.
about it is, guess what? The mama is a paralegal. She knows
Oh,
the
she
fucking
know.
law.
That's
That's
why
why
she
she ain't
doing
doing
it.
it.
That's
That's why
she's
she's taking the easy
And you
route
ain't
out.
heard
Right
about
now.
it, so she
Right
don't
now.
I'm not finna beg
Right
and
You
bust
now.
don't have to.
Right
That's all the
now.
more reason. Now that you
Right
said that, that's
now.
all the more reason why you should do it.
she's not acting as a paralegal. She acting as a mama.
There you go.
She got
That
she
part.
got a mama's boy.
That part.
And I'm telling you now, as a man, I done already know what game she done played with that grown ass man she married to. Just letting his potential grandbaby and son do what the fuck he want to do.
She run the house.
She done withheld some pussy.
She run the house.
She ain't did shit. She done talked to this man. Look, I know what you want to do, but that's my son. Blah 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 blah. I'm a woman. I know this. She probably done lied on your daughter. That little fast ass girl done trapped my baby.
She
I'm
apparently,
telling
so
you.
she probably lied by the law, how
I
it
done
gonna
got all
work.
that.
Yeah,
I done got all that.
yeah.
Because
I
from
know.
the beginning, you
But
said
I'm
he
saying,
wants
so
to be a
that's why-
father. From the beginning, that's what you said. He wanted to be the father.
So it's
But
just
the mama came in and
just
play.
filing the
And when it
paperwork
comes to
and letting the
communicating
process.
with
Because
him,
so you're
he
not
won't say
chasing.
a word, and that's what
He's scared.
She want him to let him say a word.
He's scared.
He's 16, 17. I just told you.
You
I
better not
just-
talk to that
I
little girl.
just turned 40. I'm still afraid of Nita. Shit, that boy's 16. And he
better
live in
not
the
talk
he
to
live
that
in the
little
same
girl, no.
house. She done
He gonna
told him
resent his
that.
mom for that though.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he will.
He's
that's
gonna
gonna be an
resent-
issue. That's gonna be.
But
an
you
I'm
issue.
better
gonna
not
try
say that to that
again.
little girl.
At 17 in the state of Georgia, he is considered an adult. You can have all the conversations you want with this young man. Now,
And
if he
you know-
chooses not to have
And
a
he
conversation,
end up-
that's a different story. But you can have any conversation with this man that you want because he is.
You
an
better
Y'all
adult.
not. You
y'all
better not.
got-
If I'm his mom and I say
y'all-
you better not, you
y'all-
better not. Get
y'all
your ass
have
out my
kids.
house.
See, that's the wrong.
Y'all have
that's
kids.
the
You-
wrong-
No, I'm not
Y'all
saying.
already-
I'm not saying that. That's
Y'all
me. I'm
already
saying
know
that's
what
how
it
she.
is.
Tommy came to me.
I'm
and
saying
said
that's
that
how
he got
she's
a baby.
acting.
I want a DNA test.
No,
goddamn
I'm
it.
saying
I'm
that's
going
how
to
she's
find out
acting.
if this my baby.
She
So
asked-
I
That's what
can
she
know.
asked for. She did ask
She
for it.
asked for the DNA test.
But y'all already
So
know
they
how
did.
that. You know how that conversation with.
That's what I'm
Mama-
saying. Not
Mama-
me, but she's
Mama,
probably saying you
I'm
better not
17
talk to him.
Mama, I'm 17 and I'm grown in the
Okay,
state
and
of
get
Georgia.
your ass out my house.
Somebody
And you
right
know what,
now.
and
You know how that
If
lady
you're
moves.
17
And you
and
know-
he fucking. If you fucking, you can get a goddamn DNA
Mama,
test.
I'm
You can have all the
17.
conversations you want.
That's
I'm
bullshit.
gr-
Y'all
I'm
make
grown.
it
No,
and
no.
where you, no,
'Cause that's the
and where you gonna
conversation.
stay?
My
Where you gonna
mom's
stay?
17. I'm grown in the state of Georgia. Well, you grown in the state of Georgia,
Get
but
your
you
ass
ain't
out my
grown
house.
in this house.
Get out.
He ain't even gotta tell her. If he want to get a DNA test,
Does he
he
know
ain't even
that?
gotta tell
Does
her.
he know that?
I don't know shit about this boy. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't
He
know what
don't.
he look like.
He don't.
But
I'm
if
just
he
telling you.
wanted to- if he want to know
I'm
if
just
this is
telling
child,
you, as a young-
he old enough he can get a
As a
DNA
man,
test. She
having-
don't even have to go through his mom.
I
no
done
more.
been.
They'll
I done
fall back
been
on
17.
CVS.
And
He
I
afraid
really
of
just
this
don't
woman.
think that the mama gonna
She
put
run
him
the
out
house.
because he took a test.
Kiki,
I mean,
go
come
see
on,
me at Walmart.
he
Tell that
did
boy to
extra.
pull
So
up
I'm
one
gonna
day.
put my son out because he got a DNA test to find out if
You
this is baby.
sis, I work with a mentoring group. You know how many women have put their sons out for some of the most minor shit.
I'm
And you
telling
know
you.
what? That's so crazy.
And that's detrimental
because
to
as a
him.
mother, that's crazy.
But she's a
as
good.
hell.
This is a mom who loves her son. If y'all saying, if listen to what y'all saying,
That's crazy.
She's
She
still
ain't
probably
that type of mom.
she probably a control freak though.
she is a control freak. She clearly is a
Oh,
control
yeah.
freak.
So what- but
she's
she-
not the type of mom. She loves her son. We see that. She
Right,
don't want
but
her
in-
son to be in no shit. We see that. So she's not the type of mom who gonna kick his ass out.
She's
for
probably not, but she could be threatening to
We
in
know
a
lot of
child's
kids.
mind.
It's a lot of kids.
That's what I'm
Kids
saying.
and we don't know shit because we ain't did shit.
I mean, we ain't
We
in
don't
it.
know.
We
We
make
don't
it
know.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We just
We
talk about the
assuming
scenario.
it's
We don't know these folks
That's
going.
it.
Make it any of
We are assuming at this point or what she is, what she may do, what she could do. Goddamn, go file
Go
money.
find
Go
out.
file the goddamn
Go
paperwork.
find
and
out.
see
I
what
think
the
we
damn
all
judge
agree
and
on
the
that.
court say.
I think we all agree on that, but we know what's going on in that house. We can talk that shit we want. We know what the fuck she done said to that boy.
I don't tell you.
I get that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
that.
I get that. I get that. And at 16,
She might not put him out. I'm just saying people threaten kids. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
saying people threaten kids. I'm not saying she would actually do
And
it.
then-
Not
and
saying
then-
she actually said it, but I'm saying people move like that to scare their kids. He ain't got nowhere to go, so he don't know what to do. I can't fight my mama
Y'all really
and fight
don't
y'all.
know
I
that.
don't know
Y'all
what
don't
that
know
I
means.
just said I don't know shit. I said maybe.
But does he know the
We
process?
can no credit.
And then if he
Maybe it's still a possibility.
And if he-
may
if he
not
got that
know
adult
where to go.
male
We
in the
don't
house,
really know if he
Try.
got
I don't care.
if he got that
about none
adult
of that.
male in the house and he don't
The
have no,
father should be the one
but if
doing
he
this
don't,
shit.
if he's
She
not
run
that
him.
guy,
We know.
if he's not that guy, then this has been his example of what a man is and does right now.
So his
He
dad
gonna fuck.
weak and he weak too.
He gonna follow.
My dad don't fight him. Shit,
He
he
gonna
ain't
follow
helping me.
whatever his mama say. And obviously the daddy is too.
So let me ask. I ask after.
Bye y'all. Let's end this.
Yeah, because I got a question amongst us. All right, bye. We love y'all. We see y'all next Tuesday.
6
Thank
o'clock.
y'all for chiming
Leave
in.
your comments. Leave
Tony,
your
I'm
comments.
on your ass.
Leave your
Whoever
comments.
you is.
Leave your comments. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. We ain't leaving that out. Like, share, subscribe.
Thank you,
If
Melissa. She
if
said
you
it's not
wanna
about
be
the
a
money.
guest.
It's not about the being. She said it's about being an active family.
Thank you, Melissa, for
Willingly.
agreeing.
Willingly.
I don't give a damn what Melissa say. I'm giving you Fatima's opinion as your
And she
sister,
got hers.
and that's fine. And I don't care what she say. Thank you for agreeing with her. And she got her opinion.
It's her.
I got my opinion, and I said what I said. And I'm gonna ask you some shit when we get off of here. I love y'all. Have a blessed.
Child, for team,
Shawty
whole
and Black
5
Woman.
on.
Wonder how they want to talk about you. I don't have to deal with the shit I do. So
Shawty in the black and
I
white.
gotta
don't
take
Well,
care of
if
that.
you
Ain't nobody
tell
else